I want to transition out of the 1000 GM sponsorship questions to your life, and I think
Well,
we
those were
could.
sponsored.
Yeah, so those are the sponsored questions.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, I mean, just generally for the benefit of any of our funders, and just to know exactly why 1000 GM is there. But anyway, I don't usually start here, but this is interesting. I know you have a master's degree in business, right? That's
Yep.
correct. So it is very interesting that you got your master's degree in business and then use that in the chess world. How? I mean, why did you pursue that in the first place? It might have been just St. Louis, but and then how have you applied that to what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I ended up getting a business degree at Lindenwood University in St. Louis.
Hmm.
And so they had a chess team that I was kind of recruited for. And so at the time, I had just finished my bachelor's at California State University, Los Angeles, where I had a business degree as well. There, I picked business because I just thought it was kind of the most flexible choice.
Hmm.
And I had actually decided I wanted to be a chess professional when I was in the middle of school.
Oh.
And so I think I'd already like chosen business as like a major because I didn't really have uh, interest in like being like a doctor or a lawyer, anything kind of specific like that. So I just thought, like, let me just do business. That sounds interesting. Maybe I'll work in a bank or something. But by my junior year, I'd already decided, like, you know what, I think I just like I started getting into chess, and it's like, oh, I think I just want to play chess and maybe like teach or something. I kind of just want to do chess. So um, after I got my bachelor's, I took a little time off and I was working for like Metro Chess. We started doing like these norm events. I started writing like a chess book and doing all this chess work. Yeah, and then I got invited to join the Lindenwood University chess team under like a chess scholarship, and I got offered to do like a graduate degree, so like an MBA basically. And the program was very tempting because it was short, because it was only a 15-month degree. So it was like, okay, it's just a year and 3 months, literally, is a very, very short program. Usually it's about like 2 years at least
Yeah.
for an MBA. Of course, nothing compared to like, PhDs and stuff. And so I was like, okay, short program. I get to move to St. Louis. That's cool. I've never lived in a different place. I'll be near the St. Louis Chess Club. Like they have a huge chess scene there now, which I was very interested in. And I ended up going to school there for 2013, and it was great. I got to witness like the first Sinkfield Cup,
Oh
which was
wow.
just like four players.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it was very intimate. It was like
Wait, what?
Magnus.
What four players? Yeah, yeah. What four?
It was Magnus, Levon, because they were like the number two players in the world, and it was the top two Americans at the time, Nakamura and Kamsky.
Oh wow! Oh, they hadn't. We haven't brought Fabi back over from Italy, right? Fabi
Yeah, I
was
think it
still
was,
in the
it was
Italian Federation at the
before
time.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
Wow.
believe. Right.
Ah.
And so it was, yeah, it was very funny. It was just a very cool event. Magnus ended up winning. Um, and it was very memorable for me because I got to watch it in person, and then I got to watch like a lot of US championships in person. Also, that was
Yeah.
always really fun. So yeah, basically I mostly just wanted to be on their chess team, get some training out of it. And then we were coached by VAR, well known on this channel, and
Wow. Awesome.
because he was in St. Louis at the time. We also got to spend time with like Yasser Seirawan. So basically, Lindenwood chess team had a special relationship with the St. Louis club where they kind of sponsored our coaching. So whoever the GM in residence was, they would send over, and then they would coach us for a bit. So we worked with Seirawan.
Oh
We
wow.
worked with Ronan Harsvey for a while, who's awesome, great guy. And then we had a lot of sessions with VAR as well.
Wow. That's
So that
fun.
was that was cool. And yeah, so in terms of the business degree, I don't know if I really used it a ton. I've never loved school
Okay. Okay.
personally.
Yeah.
For me, school was always just a list of requirements, and there's like a game, to just just get through. But I definitely enjoyed some classes in the program that I did, the MBA, my favorite class was probably like the marketing class. We did a class on just like on just branding, and I feel like I did take away a lot from that, and ended up using a lot of that what I learned when it came to like building Chess Dojo out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
which
definitely I
which is
feel like I did
huge
some.
now. I'm
Yeah, we're doing great.
absolutely impressed. As your friend,
Thanks.
it impresses me to no end how amazing Chess Dojo has ended up and the size of the community. Can you tell me how many followers Chess Dojo has?
Yeah, yeah. No, I really appreciate it. Right. The amazing thing is we only started right as the pandemic was kicking off.
Okay. Yeah.
Totally coincidentally.
Yeah.
We were kind of planning on getting started. Me and I am David Pruis and Grandmaster Jesse Cry. Um, we had planning to launch. We
But
were planning to
they're
launch in like
real quick. They're fixtures on chess.com, right?
um yeah, I would say they've kind of done work for like different places. Like they used to work for like chesslecture.com as well. And
Okay.
but yeah, David definitely he's been with chess.com for many years. And then Jesse also, yeah, he's done lots and lots of work for them as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So I would say yeah, pretty big. And yeah, we all knew each other for many years before, of course. But yeah, we were planning on launching like June 2020, and we were planning this, if you can imagine, like February 2020. We were like,
Wow.
let's launch a channel in June because David he was like teaching like as like a real teacher
Yeah.
in school, so you had to wait till the school year was over, and then the pandemic hit. Of course, everyone got sent home, and we realized, maybe we're all at home anyway. Maybe we should just start now. So we started in March 2020.
So you just launched it. You're like, oh, we gotta do it now. Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was just like we had nothing else to do for like 3 months until
Right.
June anyway, so
Right.
yeah, might as well. And also like Chess Dojo as a Twitch channel, it already like existed for a
Uh-huh.
couple of months, so it wasn't like the channel was already kind of in place, the Discord was in place. So yeah, I should explain that like Chess Dojo is really it's like an online chess club, like an online dojo. We're very much focused on self-improvement. And in terms of like the actual dojo, I would say it's the Discord server.
Right.
Now we actually have two Discords, which I'll get into because we launched like a training program recently, and we made a separate Discord for that. But the
Great.
main server is open to everyone. People can find the link
Go check
online,
it
I'm sure.
out. We'll put it in the description after this.
Yeah, we can put it in the description. It's on our like YouTube channel, Twitter, and everything. But basically, the public server, I think has something like 4 or 5 thousand members at this
Great.
point, which is very cool. Because every once in a while, we'll purge it with
That
like people
that's
that aren't
that's
really
that's
active.
actually huge for a Discord. That's kind of
Yeah,
massive for a Discord. Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, obviously, it started at like zero. We just had to just invite people. I had to join like other Discord
Right.
servers, ask them like, how do chess servers even work? I had to learn a lot myself. Um,
Had you
but
used
the
Discord before that, or?
very little
Oh,
actually,
okay,
but
that's
I
interesting.
thought there was a ton of potential because it's just such a cool community,
Yeah.
and or just such a cool like app for communities.
Right. Right.
Um, and so at the time, the only thing that chess players really had was like the chess subreddit and chess Twitter. Um, and the Twitter chess community is also very cool. But Twitter is very like disorganized. It's not like a centralized place you can just
Yeah.
go if you're interested in chess. So that's kind of the idea. It's just like if you're a chess player trying to find a training partner, then you would go to the server, the Discord server, that we have a channel where you could like introduce yourself or whatever, and try to seek someone around your level.
Hmm.
Because I've always worked best with a training partner, and I feel like I mean, there's so many players out there who are like 1600, 1400, whatever. They don't have anyone to study with. And it's like, I always saw those posts on Reddit. It's like, hey, I'm 1800. I'm looking for someone to train with, like anyone interested. And then sometimes they would get a couple comments, or not. But I just thought, like, wow, it's so inefficient, like this way. It's like, you should just be able to go to a place and like a dojo and just find someone to work with.
Yeah.
And so yeah, now okay, I mean we started off really small, but we were doing a lot of streaming on Twitch. We have our YouTube channel. On Twitch, I think we have something like 23,000 followers.
Wow, that's great.
which is yeah, it's awesome. YouTube actually very, very similar numbers. Somehow they stay very closely related in terms of number of subs and number of followers. And yeah, recently we launched this training program because of course our channel is just focused all on like chess improvement, and we're doing all these like streams where we're either going over games or doing like a lecture or like solving puzzles or like playing like rapid games, like doing commentary. And yeah, obviously people like were just like constantly just barraging us with requests for
Right.
private lessons. Just every day, I would get messages like, "Hey, are you doing private lessons?" I'm sure Jesse and David did as well. And obviously we don't have time to just sit down and teach everyone.
Yeah,
But we,
yeah.
we did have time to like just create like a structured training program because there are things we all agreed on, like, okay, this is what it takes to like improve at your chess. And for us, like the most important thing actually was just having like a sparring partner, like a community that you can work with. So that was kind of the idea behind the training program. It's like give people a list of tasks to work on because that's very important. If you're 1200 and you Google like how to improve my chess, you might end up buying like Dvoretsky's endgame manual, which would be a big mistake, right? Very
Yeah.
inefficient. But you
Yeah.
might do that if you're
That's for
like
like
an
2,000 plus players, right? Like
for
20,
sure. Yeah, I would
maybe
say that book
masters.
is great, but yeah, just for like really advanced players. But
Yeah.
chess, I would say I could rant about this a lot, but chess suffers from the same consumer confusion as the fitness industry, I would say, and like the diet and like nutrition industry, where there's all these people that have a problem. They're not fit enough, or they're not healthy enough, or in this case, their chess isn't good enough. And there's so many different solutions out there now, so many different things they could be trying, so many different like workout programs and training programs that like they don't know what to do. So they like try one thing, it doesn't, and they do it for like 2 weeks, and they try like another thing. And I know this because I do the same when I like with my workout plans, right? It's like, oh, I have this workout plan, and then like I skip a day, and then I'm just like, whatever, and then I
Yeah.
go eat ice cream for a couple
Right.
of days.
Right. Right.
Then I'm like, oh shoot, and then I try another plan, right? And then it's like and probably any one of these things would work out if I just like saw them through. But it's just it's hard because there's so many things you could be doing. Obviously, there's a ton of influencers, and they all have their like opinions on how to like do your fitness or do your chess. And so we just wanted to provide a structure for people. So like, all right, if you're 1200, you're reading, Chernev's most instructive games of chess ever played. You're going to study like these four endgame positions and practice them out against someone your level. You're going to like try to get this score on Puzzle Rush
Right.
and that kind
Right.
of thing. So just very, very clear guidelines. And so we did a whole training program for people 0 to 24, 2500 even. Like I'm in the training program myself. Jesse is too. We're all in the training program ourselves because we're
Oh, that's
all
awesome.
trying to improve our own chess. So
Yeah.
we're in the 2400 band. Yeah.
Who's teaching you?
Well, that's the thing. We've been looking for training partners. Actually, I have had some coaching recently that we could talk about, but
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
But in the dojo, it's mostly training partners at a certain level. So like master and above, you guys are just finding partners to play against.
yeah. So me and David, for instance, will spar pretty regularly. We have the show called Endgame Sensei, where Jesse gives us an endgame position that's kind of thematic. A lot of the endgame positions they were like right out of like endgame strategy from like
Yeah.
Shereshevsky. So just
Yeah.
like really classic endgame positions,
Great.
and then we just play it out white and black, one side each, and try to win. And that's been really really good training because we'll play on like the 30-second increment. We'll play like 5 plus 30.
Where did you find that training technique to play out these positions that are in books, basically, that have solutions, but it's not always clear, why one move is better or worse than another. So it seems very valuable to play it out like that. Did you get that
Mhm.
from anybody, or is this just like a cultural thing?
I feel like I've been doing it for a while. Like I've been training with other players for a long time. In the past, I would usually do more like opening sparring. Like you
Hmm.
take a position from one of your openings and then you prep it and then you play it out, which I
Yeah,
always found very very valuable.
which we did.
Um, which we did. Oh
We've
wow, yeah.
yeah, we've done it a few times, like at the U.S. Open and at the Amateur West.
Yeah,
Where
yeah. When we were prepping you.
we
Yeah,
prepped me 23 moves against Agata, National Master Agata Bukovsky, or however you say her name.
yeah. The ghost. Yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic prep. But yeah, I think really important part of prep is actually playing out the positions that you're not just seeing the position OTB the
Birdie.
first time when you're when you're preparing for the game. And I think that that's really important because it's happened to me many times. It's like I prep a line for hours and hours, then I show up to the board. I'm finally seeing it like with my own eyes. It's not on a computer screen. See,
Yeah.
like on a real chessboard, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, what if they make this move? What if they make this move? You know, I feel like totally like a fish out of water if I haven't played the position before. So that's super important. But when it comes to like endgame sparring and stuff like that, I think that's something that's just always been intuitive for a lot of coaches. Because David and Jesse, they came to the same conclusions on their own that sparring is very, very useful in terms of chess improvement. And yeah, I wish I had a better answer for where the idea comes from, but I'm sure many coaches have had the thought because it's just so useful. Just like you play out of position, you make mistakes, you then analyze those mistakes.
Right. Right.
You just yeah, you improve like your skills, especially because a lot of these in-game positions they just take experience. So I often give this advice to players if when they're learning like theoretical endgames, like if you're learning some rook endgame, like Lucina position, Philidor position, like you have to play it out a bunch of times. And you
Yeah.
have to like really know like you know the tech. It's not enough to just understand it intellectually, because it's just not going to translate to a situation where it's like you have 3 seconds on your clock and your heart is racing and you can't see the board straight. Like you're never going to be able to figure out something you like watched in the video
Yeah.
under
Yeah.
those stressful circumstances. But if you practice those stressful circumstances, so I often like tell my students or have my students practice like, I give them like a winning position, right? And like 5 seconds on their clock. And then they have to win. They have to beat me, like with the 5 second delay.
Oh,
And so if you
nice.
know how to do like Lucina endgame, then you should be able to do it with 5 second delay
Yeah. Yeah.
against anyone,
Right.
even if it's really high pressure. And so I think that kind of training is very important for tournament players because you just see it so many times. Like someone messes up an end game that they've probably studied before, but they just maybe haven't practiced it that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Oh my God,
recently.
all the
Like
time.
if I haven't practiced these end games recently, sometimes it takes
Sure.
me a long time to figure out the exact technique.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to move on to your early life because people can check out ChessDojo and they can check out all the channels. I mean, it's pretty amazing what you've built. But I also want to say before we go to the next segment that you really need a hot takes with Kostya because the chess industry as compared to the healthcare industry, that's a big hot take right there. That it's very similar, and I actually I agree. I think it's interesting how players can just kind of wander around in the desert of all this theory and ideas and not know exactly where to start and really just kind of fail at their learning journey, and
Yeah.
then not learn anything and just go play a bunch of bullet.
Oh,
Right?
definitely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel very passionate about this. And it's not like people are, I don't think chess companies are like maliciously trying to like scam people or anything.
No, no.
I think everyone's just genuinely trying to offer a good product. The problem is just there's many good products out there. Even there's just like tons of good chess books out there.
Yeah.
And people, they see a book and they're like, oh, this looks interesting. Is this book the answer? And then they buy it and like,
Right.
2 weeks later, like, oh, this is cool. Should I be doing, blindfold chess now? And like, it's just,
Yeah.
they just
Yeah.
kind of bounce, all over the place.
Yeah, and that's good. It's good for the industry for people to be buying lots of books, right? I mean, books are dying in
Yes.
general. Not with Chessable, obviously, so it's a different story. But